Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Great to have you with us. Did you just get out of the shower, or
like an hour ago? Yeah.
Is it raining? It's 20 degrees.
No, it's definitely not raining. I'm surprised my hair's not frozen.
Yeah. So Penn State is currently a Nike school.
Yes.
They're transitioning to Adidas, and you're wearing Under Armour?
Yeah, for the day. Yeah, that's.
You have stock that I don't know about?
No. This is the brand I would wear the least.
Why is that?
I've always been a bigger fan. Been the biggest fan of Nike. Adidas right behind it, and then Under Armour's. Steph Curry doesn't think much of Under Armour either. He's no longer with them.
Well, he probably got a better deal.
I'm sure he doesn't have it yet, but I guarantee
I think that has something to do with it.
He's going to be getting a bigger one very soon here, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, we know that Matt Campbell's been offered. So, and now we wait. And it's part of the process. I mean, everybody knows. It's just part of the process. And so you get offered. He either says yes, or he says, hey, look, there's some points we need to negotiate here, right? I'd like to see this, and this, and not that, or whatever. Or he says, I'm going to stay. I mean, it is really that simple.
Yeah.
Now, I've just taken something complicated and made it very simple because contracts are complicated.
Absolutely.
And so. Yeah.
And I think obviously the further that this stretches on, the more pressure that gets added on to a lot of people. So I think that's the other part of it without question. And you've absolutely have made a very complicated situation a lot more simple with that statement. There's no doubt.
I mean, that's just, what it is.
Yeah.
And they made their presentation to him.
Sure.
And they went out there and saw him last night. And now we'll see what he wants to do. I will say this about him. First of all, I think he's a heck of a coach. I think all of us.
There's not a shadow of a doubt.
I think anybody who has any football common sense knows that Matt Campbell's a really terrific coach.
Yeah, that's a program that did not have a history whatsoever of winning anything before he took over.
No. All right. It took a lot for Iowa State to get him to leave Toledo.
Sure.
Okay. He's always been, somebody that's been loyal. And this part I really admire. And some people don't, and I don't understand why they don't get it. He's always had a policy that he does not want to talk to people until after his regular season is over with. So I don't understand why people would criticize a man that concentrates on his current team.
Sure.
And is not out there chasing the next big thing while the season's going on. We just saw somebody leave a playoff team and go to a conference rival because he was out there chasing the next big thing and was chasing it while the season was going on.
Yeah.
Okay?
And the criticism he has faced prior to that is reason why a lot of these coaches probably aren't going to take that approach anymore.
So for anybody that criticizes this man's approach as to how he looks at his life and his job, he locks in on his team and his players. The system is set up in such a way, right? I mean, let's take a year ago. Right? Everybody got to see it play out 1 year ago in real time. Remember, last year the transfer portal opened right after the last regular season game. So you have the transfer portal, you have the early signing period. Oh, and by the way, you have to get ready for a playoff game. So now you're concentrating on, as a staff, roster retention, right? Then you're concentrating on your recruiting class. Oh, and then by the way, okay, now we're going to get ready for the playoff.
Yeah.
Now, finally, things cleared up after that, and you were able to lock in. Once it got to the playoff time, you locked in on what you're doing. But you're trying to juggle all these proverbial balls here,
Yeah.
while trying to coach your current team, and that's why when I've talked about letter of intent, whether it's an early signing period that's the first Wednesday in August or just sticking with one late signing period in February, my entire thought process has always been about the ability to concentrate on your team and your season. Well, this guy has had a policy where he concentrates on his team and his season. And then, okay, now the regular season's over. Anybody does want to talk, I'll talk to you. But before then, he won't. What's wrong? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with having that philosophy? I find that baffling.
There's nothing wrong with that philosophy.
Because your job is to concentrate on your current team and your current season. And however this turns out, because I've never met the man. I've seen interviews with him, and I'm eminently impressed with him, very impressed with him. This is what I hope to see, one way or the other. Whomever ends up with the job, him, Terry, whatever it may be, okay? I really hope there is a way, because I think it's the only way forward, for everybody to regroup and pull the rope in the same direction.
Absolutely. I made that point yesterday. You got to be on the same page.
That is the only way, and I mean, I'm talking donors, season ticket holders, fans, athletic department, players, staff, coaches. In order to compete in this environment, you have to have the ability to have everybody pull the rope in the same direction.
Absolutely.
Right? Whether you are gung-ho about the great Joe Paterno, whether you're gung-ho about the job James did, whether you're gung-ho about what Bill O'Brien did, you're not going to have success to compete against other programs unless people are pulling the rope in the same direction. And that's what I hope comes out of this, that once somebody is named as the head coach, okay, that stability instantly takes over. And because it's interesting, I woke up today. You find that you seem to be disappointed by that fact. I mean, I don't understand why you get disappointed by those things. I woke up today, and you know what I realized? It's only been 6 days since I announced the Rutgers game, and it's felt like a month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, I did a basketball game on Tuesday night, right? And it still has felt like a month because of how things have played out this week. And look, again, when you are going through the process, you can be critical of what has happened, but I think you have to be realistic about what has happened. One, as I pointed out yesterday and actually repeatedly this week, is that when James was relieved of his duties on Sunday, we did the show on Monday. And I said, look, the target date is around November 30th. That wasn't me having insider information. That wasn't me being Nostradamus. No. That's the day after the regular season. Okay? That's when people are able to then make moves. Now, you can set up your move. All right? Which is over a 3-week span leading up to November 30th, they were doing. And they thought they had it. You know, in November 30th, with the signing day being the 3rd and so forth. Okay. Right? And it didn't end up working out, even though it looked like it was on the pathway on both sides. Remember, both sides. This wasn't one of those pie in the sky things where, like, he's our guy, and their guy sitting there go, well, no, I did, we've only briefly talked. I mean, no. They were deep into where they were. They thought they were that close to the finish line, right? And it didn't happen. That's why, like, I'll hear, it's day 54. It's not really day 54, okay? Because you were not going to name somebody for the first 48 days, okay? Unless the person, okay, was currently unemployed.
Or on the staff. Yeah.
Right? Either on the staff or currently unemployed. One of the two, okay? Right? That's the only way you were going to name somebody before November 30th. If you were determined to go outside, right, to an existing head coach, okay? So, has it been 54 days since James Franklin left? Yeah. But it's not really that, right? And it's just felt like this week has been a month. Okay. And there's been a lot of waiting. Had to wait to see on what happened at BYU. It didn't work out. Okay. Now it turns out that somebody who has had a personal policy. Imagine having standards.
Can't have those.
I knew I could count on you.
Can't have those.
I knew I could count on you. Like you went to a rainstorm, you're wearing Under Armour. It's just like, what are your standards? All right. And so now you get a chance to talk to this guy, right? Because something else didn't come through. Because you got right to the finish line, and all of a sudden, you know, like, I'm going to stay, right? You know, people around him rallied. And look, you're talking about somebody rallying about from the age of 6, lived in Provo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we wait on this. But when it's all done, whomever it happens to be, internal, external, I might be asking too much. I don't know. But a key to me to having success is to have everybody pull the rope in the same direction.
No doubt about it.
Right? Rally.
Yeah. You have to come together. Absolutely.
That's what I'm hoping for. Am I being realistic? I don't know. Because when you see some of the top teams, look, winning solves everything.
No doubt about it.
Winning causes people to rally. Okay? Tough times are where you find cracks in the foundation. And the key is to go out and repair the cracks as quickly as possible, and everybody pulling the rope in the same direction. But if everybody can pull in the same direction, I think it's going to get you to winning faster.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. I'm talking fan base, season ticket holders, donors, athletic department, staff, coaching staff, players, right? And the head coach, all pulling the rope in the same direction. right? And now we wait. We'll see how it plays out. So, games tonight, by the way. And not only just games tonight, but how about some of those FCS games this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
And there are actually some pretty good games. And by the way, I have not heard it. I don't know if you have, but it was leaked audio. Or
Yeah,
something like
I've
that.
heard the story. Yeah.
I have not heard it.
Yeah.
Look, I've always been, and again, this is old school me talking here, and you can absolutely disagree with old school me. That's fine. But old school me was always taught that when you go into these meeting rooms, like, that's family, and it stays.
And it's trust.
It stays. It stays within.
No doubt.
Confines of the room, not just the building, but the room. Because it's unfair to everybody involved, whether it's the subject speaking or those reacting to it. It's unfair to everybody when things like that happen. Oh, sure. Is it interesting? Is it feels I mean, I haven't heard it, and I'm not going to bother listening to it. All right. I just think, and I have no idea who did this. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. I just, like you, I know about it.
Yeah.
And that's all I know. Before I get to, I do have to have one more coaching thing. And that is on Mark Pavick.
Absolutely.
Pav is retiring after this season. He called me last night. And he told me that the succession plan is in place.
Nice.
He wanted to do this now so that the team knew ahead of time and was not surprised by it. He said he didn't want to do it like after an NCAA deal or whatever, and all of a sudden he tells them, like, oh, now what do we do? He wanted all the ducks in a row. And he and I both agreed that when he does retire, he is a huge Pirates fan, huge baseball fan. Pav and I talk as much baseball as we do volleyball. He's won a national title. I mean, he's been a part of two. He's an assistant coach on the other one with Tom Peterson, and I said, look. I said, let's go to a Pirates game this summer. I said, except we're going to deliberately pick a day where Skeens pitches.
Oh, no doubt.
Because he says, I've never seen him pitch. I said, we need to go. I said, when Skeens pitches.
Yeah.
So, we agreed to that last time. But we've talked for like 5-10 minutes last night. The Pirates did send Johan Oviedo, the former State College Spike, to the Red Sox. 5-player deal. But they got Garcia out of it. And he is a very, very good prospect. He was actually briefly up with the Red Sox this year. Really an intriguing prospect. The problem is the Red Sox have, between Cedar Rafaela, Duran, and Roman Anthony, they got a pretty crowded outfield right now. There's, that's one of the reasons they felt they could make that deal, and they feel Oviedo can be a third starter for them behind Garrett Crochet and Sonny Gray. Okay, so let's get to the championship games that are taking place this weekend. I know that for you, it's all about how much coin you can put down. I got it. God, you scare me. So tonight, Troy and James Madison play for the Sun Belt Championship. For James Madison, here it comes. Going to take a shot at it and hope Duke wins. Okay?
Yeah.
North Texas plays Tulane tonight. That game is on ESPN tonight, and that game is at JMU at 7 o'clock. Now, the 8 o'clock game on ABC is the American Championship, and they're both ranked. I mean, North Texas is 24th. They're 11-1. Tulane's 20th, 10-2. Retzloff, the former BYU quarterback, has done a great job this year for Tulane.
Absolutely.
And again, one of the winners will get a playoff spot out of this. Both the winners, if it's James Madison and whomever wins North Texas Tulane, will get in if Duke wins. Crazy. Then Saturday, tomorrow, amazing. See how quickly I jumped it tomorrow?
That's right.
BYU Texas Tech, that is in Arlington. That's at noon on ABC. They're both 11-1. BYU loses. They have no shot. Texas Tech would still be an at-large, I think, if they lost the game. Georgia, Alabama, they're both in. That game will be at 4 o'clock on ABC. No, I don't think it's probably. You're not going to penalize Alabama for risking
I agree.
the 13th
No, I don't
game.
think so.
I
He
do
should.
not penalize teams for playing in these games. And it was the pattern last year, and it was the correct call by the committee last year.
Yeah.
We can be critical of the committee on so many things that they do.
Yeah.
But that's not one of them.
No, they got it right last year.
They got it right last year. Where teams that and I'm not talking Penn State here, because we knew Penn State was way in last year. They ended up in the final poll being 4, but because of the conference championship proviso they were the 6th seed. What I'm talking about is SMU Clemson, for example. Yeah. SMU was not penalized for being the regular season champion that lost. Okay?
Right.
They weren't penalized.
And shouldn't have been.
Right. Indiana, Ohio State. The winner is playing for the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. That game is at 8 o'clock on Fox. And by the way, Georgia, Alabama's on ABC at 4.
Yeah.
Indiana, Ohio State's on Fox at 8 o'clock. And then 8 o'clock on ABC, it's the ACC title game between Duke and Virginia. Virginia wins, they're in, because they'll be ranked higher than either one of the winners of tonight's games, because they're 17 right now. Duke wins. The ACC may be without a team in the playoff.
Very good chance. I think that's I think it's very likely. Duke wins, and especially if Duke wins, BYU wins. Then they are for sure.
Right.
But I think it's very likely if Duke wins, period, they are without a team.
Now let's have fun with the FCS playoffs. There's actually some pretty cool second round games here. Right? Let's see. Is anything? Let's see. There's one game that's on ESPN2. And that game's on ESPN too. Okay, everything else on ESPN Plus. Right? So Villanova's playing Lehigh. Okay? Lehigh, they go through the Patriot and everything else. They're 12-0. And they're going to be at home. Villanova ended up 10-2 with one of the 2 losses, of course, being to Penn State. South Dakota is at Mercer. Mercer's 9-2. South Dakota's 9-4. Okay. Golly gee willikers. How do you like that segment?
There you
go.
Like
that transition. 1 o'clock. Guess who's 12-0? Just guess who's 12-0 in FCS.
In FCS?
They play in a dome. They play in the Fargo Dome. North Dakota State. North Dakota State will play 9-4 Illinois State in Fargo. North Dakota, which is 8-5, will take on 11-1 Tarleton State. That game's at 1 o'clock. I think this is a really good game. The SWAC championship game. The SWAC championship game is Prairie View against Jackson State, 9-3 against 9-2. Okay. Yale, back to the FCS championship, plays its second round game. Yale had a dramatic come from behind 43-42 win last week to advance. This is the first time the Ivy League has participated in the FCS tournament. Harvard and Yale both got in. Harvard was beaten last week. Yale dramatically won. And they are going to play at Montana State. I mean, that game is at 1 o'clock tomorrow, so what it would be, 11 a.m.?
11 a.m. there? Yeah.
Right? At beautiful Bobcat Stadium? I mean, yikes. I mean, that's in beautiful Bozeman. They're saying it's 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, so noon.
Yeah, so it's noon there. I wonder what the heck the temperature's going to be there. And, tickets are available. As low as $37.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cheap football. Nothing wrong with that.
Kind of screams you.
Oh, there.
They say 37 degrees tomorrow. Let's see, what does this say here? It's going to be, no. They're talking, it's going to be 33 degrees with 1 to 3 inches of snow. All right.
That's changed things a little bit.
No.
That's why tickets are so cheap and available.
No. That makes me want to watch the game. I want to watch that game.
You better believe it.
I would love to
watch the game on TV.
Right. That's, yeah. I'm not flying to Bozeman.
No, I'm not going to. If I were in Bozeman, I'm not sure I'd go to the game. Not that weather.
God, I remember watching a game. Montana State was playing. I think it was a year ago. And it was bitterly cold. It was snowing. And I think it was the team that was actually from down south. I'm like, how are these people surviving? It's like, okay. So, yeah. But in Missoula, Montana's playing, and they take on South Dakota State. Montana's 11-1, South Dakota State's 9-4. Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin. Weather better. Abilene Christian 9-4, Stephen F. Austin 10-2. And then, imagine the thrill for these kids. Rhode Island gets to leave the beautiful confines of Kingston and go to UC Davis. We're going to California. The Rams are 11-2, and UC Davis is 8-3. And that game's on ESPN2 tomorrow night.
Nice.
The only other game on ESPN2 is the SWAC championship between Prairie View and Jackson State. So there's your FCS lineup tomorrow in round 2. Everything else is on ESPN Plus. And I can assure you in no uncertain terms, I have never watched the game on ESPN Plus. So, yeah.
ESPN, no. I think I finally have ESPN Unlimited, but I've not taken advantage of it so far.
Oh, how'd you get it?
I think I got it with my TV subscription.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so okay. That's the only reason why. Yeah, I have not watched it yet at all. Take a look at that.
Men's lacrosse is going to have a Ring of Pride, right? And so the first 2 inductees will be the legendary coach, Glenn Thiel. Glenn, by the way, won 2 national titles when he was at Virginia and did a phenomenal job here. And Gary Martin. And that's, Glenn was class of 66. He was the team captain here. Between Virginia and Penn State, he coached 75 All-Americans. Gary Martin, right? One season in 82, he scored 42 goals, had 44 assists, he had 86 points. I remember watching him play. What a player. Jeez. They're gonna be honored on Alumni Weekend, which will be April 11th at Panzer Stadium when they take on Michigan. So that is special. It's great to see that happen. 2 great guys that God, I interviewed Glenn so many times in my lifetime. And just what a great guy. So, yeah. And then, of course, we will find out whether or not head-to-head means anything.
Eh.
And you and I both know it doesn't mean anything to the committee.
No. Clearly not right now, at least.
Golly, it's just the issue I have with what they do based on how they have done things over the years, whether it was 4 or 12, is that I feel like they make it up as they go in order to then tell you why they came to the decision they did.
Absolutely.
I realize that this is all subjective. I got that part. So, I mean, I do understand that. And that's where they are.
Unfortunately, I think that it's screaming for, as is always the case. It feels like when there was 4, it screamed for more, and in that case, I think you had to. And now there's 12. I think it's screaming for 16. There's always going to be somebody that is going to be left out. You could put this field to 45 or 50, and there's always going to be somebody left out that should have gotten in the eyes of many. Yeah, to me, head-to-head matters. To me, Miami absolutely should be in over Notre Dame because they beat them head-to-head. And unfortunately, I don't think that is going to be the case. BYU, as I said yesterday, can solve it all. They beat Texas Tech. I think both of them are out. Right. And then that makes it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, yeah, if BYU does go on to lose, I think Notre Dame probably, in all likelihood, will get the nod.
All right. I think when you get to 16, that's where you limit it. I just was talking about the FCS playoffs. I was really surprised when they went to 24. I really am. That's a lot of football to play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I 24. I'm talking talking about the FCS playoffs.
The FCS playoffs.
And I know Tony Petitti's proposed 24. It's like, okay.
No, you can't have that much.
I personally like Tony. I do.
Yeah, same.
And so I don't mind him floating ideas in the public. I don't mind that to kind of gauge where people are with it. I have no problem with that. But the logic has always been either 4, 8, or 16.
Right.
It's always been the logic.
Sure.
Now, 16 doesn't mean everybody plays.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because the way I've understood it is that they've talked about having 14 play the opening round.
Yep. And 2. Yep. That's what I heard. Yep.
And then having 2 buys.
Same.
Okay. That's the way I've understood it. But does the format include automatic qualifiers, Tony Petitti's suggestion? Or does it go 5 plus 11? Don't know. The one thing about having automatic qualifiers, so 5 plus 11 is something that makes sense, and then would you earn your way in, correct? Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. The interesting part about automatic qualifiers is this. With automatic qualifiers, based on your conference record or a conference playoff play-in game, because Tony's talked about, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, and the winners get the last 2 spots. All right, well, that would make this weekend really intriguing, right?
Sure.
Okay. So that part from a TV point of view is intriguing. The other part is that would be intriguing about automatic qualifiers. And I'm not endorsing one plan or the other here. Like I said, a fair plan is 5 plus 11. You earn your way in. But if you have automatic qualifiers, you know what that means? You can have more non-conference games like Ohio State, Texas, which people are aching for. Look at college basketball.
Yes.
College basketball, right? This week was the SEC ACC Challenge. You had great matchups all over the place. North Carolina's playing Kentucky, Duke. Who the heck did Duke play? They won by 1. Florida. So they played the defending national champion, Florida. Arkansas got a big win last night. I mean, but those are really good games to have at this time of the year where you've got great brand name matchups. I mean, look at Michigan State's non-conference schedule. They've played Arkansas. They played North Carolina. I mean, they've been playing people. And that's where, for example, the Big Ten ACC Challenge was really good for years. That's why I thought maybe the Big Ten and the Big 12 might do something, because they're both with Fox. Even though Big 12 also has an ACC deal, but they also have Fox. And it never came about. And the next year you're going to have 32 games. Because they have the flexibility, okay, before they have the because college basketball has the scheduling flexibility, they can schedule games like that. Okay? Yeah, strength of schedule, right? But you have more flexibility that if it doesn't work out, you can still bounce back in other ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
College football has been encouraging through this playoff system that it doesn't matter who you play in the non-conference.
And it's changing a lot of things. You look at Alabama's already changed their non-conference schedule. I don't think there's any question. Look, Texas doesn't get in the playoff, which I don't think they're clearly not going to. I don't think there's a path. Then what happens with their non-conference schedule? And that even starts with next year.
Yeah.
They play Ohio State and Austin. There's no doubt that the schedules are going to get a lot more simple when in the non-conference games if this model stays as is. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah. So yeah. And that is, I mean, to me, that is going to be, that would be the offshoot of having automatic qualifiers. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm just giving you the pros and cons here. I'm not endorsing one or the other. I'm a big believer in earning your way in, but
same. But I think if you stay here, we're at 12, where you have teams that have challenged themselves in the beginning that do not get in. I think that's going to change some things. There's no doubt. That obviously we're talking about numbers. That'll probably change the playoff numbers, but I think it'll also change the scheduling without question.
Yeah,
I think alone now that the SEC, has gone non-conference games too, I think that alone will change things.
Right.
But when you have teams that are not being rewarded for the tough opponents in the beginning, then I think that changes things even more. No question.
Right. So, yeah. So, again, I mean, there's so many things that college, you know what's incredible about college football? I mean, absolutely incredible about college football. It's so popular and succeeds in spite of itself.
Yeah. Well, it's the NFL, too.
Oh, that was quite. Did you watch that game last night?
A great game. Yeah.
Oh, that was a terrific game to watch.
Fortunately, Branch is now tore his Achilles.
Did he really?
He did.
Oh, that poor guy's had so many injuries. I was talking to Jason Kabinda about that because he really likes Branch a lot. He was his
sounds like it at
all
least.
Those years. That's terrible. That's terrible. It's a big loss for Detroit.
Absolutely a big loss.
But even at 8-5 right now, they're the 8 seed.
Yeah.
But they also have put themselves with better odds of getting there.
Yeah, I think so. And look, even as a fan of the 49ers, they're not a 9-4 football team. I think they're very easily vulnerable. I think they can lose games.
Okay.
Yeah.
You won 9 games. You are a 9-4
There's no doubt.
team.
Won 9 games.
Okay, now I want to say something about that for a second. And it goes back to the legendary Bill Parcells quote.
Yeah.
Your record is who you are.
Who you are, yeah.
Or who you say it is, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I've always thought, and I have nothing but the highest respect for Bill Parcells.
Sure.
Like as a Giants fan, he delivered 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime. Right? Okay. Lifelong Giants fan.
Right.
But I always thought that was one of the biggest nonsense comments I've ever heard in my life. I've done so many teams over the years where you're going along and you're off to a great start, and Gary Claxton gets hurt and he's out for the year. And then Jamel Cornley gets hurt and he's out for the final part of the year. And and Penn State ended up winning, I think, its last 5 home games. This was Taylor Battle's freshman year or something like that. Well, they ended up with, wow. Well, that doesn't really tell you who they are, because the team that started the year was not the team that ended the year. It's like that doesn't tell you who they are. I'm using that team as an example. I got a whole bunch of teams like that, right? And I've always thought that was one of the biggest, and the fact that people latch onto that, means that you don't think, right? You've got to look at circumstances surrounding something. Okay? Ohio State won the national championship last year and lost twice.
Lost twice. Yep.
Okay, they're the national champion, but they had 2 losses. Okay? There are always circumstances surrounding teams because it is a long journey to get to the end.
Absolutely. Sure.
Okay? And somebody gets crowned. Right? Doesn't mean that, Detroit last year was a really good team until what happened? They got 8 guys on defense hurt.
Absolutely.
Well, against Washington, they're out there. There's a reason why that guy was on the waiver wire in November. Okay? He's good enough to be in the league, but he wasn't good enough to be with you in August.
No,
okay?
not a chance.
Okay? He wasn't good enough to be with you in September or October. Right? There's reasons. Right? And they aren't excuses, they're reasons.
No, I agree.
I always love it. Well, that's an excuse. Okay, stop generalizing. Know what you're talking about. Okay? Reasons are not excuses. Okay? Now let's get back to Branch. That's going to be a big blow for them. That's one of their absolute best cover guys down the stretch they need. And a guy, when he got hurt last year, really hurt them. That really hurt not having him out there. Now, he and other guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Had several injuries in the Eagles game, not making excuses. I think the Eagles outplayed them without a doubt, but a lot of injuries in that game. Rocky Sin had to play and did a great job in coverage.
Yeah. So, and for Dallas, they'd crept to within a game and a half.
Yep.
Of the Eagles.
And you felt like they were there. You really did.
And, by the way, they've been playing better football than Philadelphia.
The last couple of weeks, there's no question.
Right. But now last night deals them a blow. Now they're 2 games back with Philadelphia playing Monday night against the Chargers. Jalen Carter will not play. Evidently, he had some minor surgery on both shoulders.
Both shoulders, yep.
So, it's that's where the NFL is right now, and the Steelers have they've got to do Baltimore. Well, neither team's playing well.
No. Lamar Jackson's still battling injuries, and the Steelers' offense is it's way out of sync right now.
Right. But so's Baltimore.
Yeah.
They turned the ball over five times against Cincinnati
at home.
And I thought going into the season, I looked at the quarterbacks. I looked at Lamar Jackson. I looked at Joe Burrow. I looked at Aaron Rodgers. I didn't look at Cleveland. I thought
they've got plenty of them. Just one that I don't think they've got a clear starter out of any of that group.
No, and I think Deshaun Watson's been finally
He's
been cleared to start doing some workouts.
Activity. Yep.
Okay. But that might be the weakest division in football.
Certainly in the conversation.
I'm talking about in the NFL, of course.
Yeah. Certainly in the conversation. Had the Cowboys not had their resurgence, I think the NFC East was struggling this year.
Oh no,
the South, the NFC South is another one.
Yeah.
Panthers are playing good football.
Panthers are playing really well. Let's give them credit. They just beat the Rams.
Tampa's hit or miss. The Falcons, I can't figure out. I think part of it is probably coaching.
I was laughing last night. Did you see how they promoted next week's game between Tampa Bay and Atlanta?
No.
We're talking about Tampa Bay, Atlanta. That's next week. And by the way, we've got the Rams against the Seahawks?
Probably, yeah.
In 2 weeks? He said, and we got the Rams and Seahawks in 2 weeks. We got Atlanta, Tampa Bay. They kind of blew through that promo. They took that promo card. I read it. We're done. He threw it over his shoulder. And they go, hey, and by the way, we got a big one in 2 weeks. We had a big one tonight. Oh, goodness gracious.
That division to me is questionable. I think Tampa Bay is hit or miss. The Panthers, we'll see. Bryce Young obviously has not been to the playoffs yet. He gets there. Who knows what will happen with that team?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing the biggest thing in that division for me is I can't figure the Falcons out. A lot of talent. Quarterback play has been questionable, and that's probably what it is. And coaching too. I think coaching has been questionable.
So, yeah. Oh, well. So it's so we play the waiting game today. Now, as a just in case, the Board of Trustees I think has a meeting scheduled for Monday. Normally it's stuff like that would be like the compensation committee or whatever. So it's a just in case. The bowl comes out on late Sunday afternoon. Terry had given the entire team this week off. And so and which is what they needed, by the way.
Yeah,
with everything that has gone.
Everything, absolutely.
They needed time. And he had told, and this is not something where Terry made the decision. Terry told them on Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning, and then reiterated it on Friday before they left for Rutgers. He said, after you win, you will have next week. You'll have next week off. You earned it. Okay, and they won the game, so we gave him the week off, true to his word, and that's that's where it is. So, for a guy like Matt Campbell, this is the biggest single move of his life.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the biggest single decision in his life. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Right. Well, decision, move, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the single biggest decision he's had to make. I think in 24 he was given an 8-year contract extension, something like that. There.
But which to the standards of college football is not where it needs to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he's got to make a decision as to what to do. The key part for me on this end of it is whatever is done, him, Terry, or whatever.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Once a decision is made, number one, that'll stabilize the situation.
Certainly.
Because now you have somebody.
Yeah.
Which then at that point, I'm going to go back to what I talked about, pulling the rope in the same direction. I mean, there's too much blame game going on right now. And just Okay, just settle down. You know, I've talked about letting the process play out. While I'll freely admit, though, to everybody, I woke up today and I realized that I did the Rutgers game 6 days ago. I feel like this week has felt like a month. And look, we all know how people feel about Terry here.
Sure.
It's become apparent. But Matt Campbell's the guy that's been offered the job. We have to see whether he says yes or no. If he does say yes, I think people are really going to like. This is a rock solid guy. I mean,
sure.
He's an excellent football coach who gets a lot out of his teams, but as a person, and we all love Terry as a person because, right? And this would be another really good person around. I mean, just based on the interviews I've seen with him, I've never talked to him in my life and never been in the same room with him. So but we've got to, the hard part is the waiting part, right? And somebody mentioned that Dr. Neely Ben-Patootie was a part of the discussion. Well, she needs to be.
Sure.
Okay, she needs to be a part because what is one of the important elements that you need to have in today's athletic world? And I talked about this earlier because I used the example of Boston College with Father Leahy and Father Butler, right? And the reason I used it is because that's a change that's happening right now. And Father Butler's love of sports is greater than Father Leahy's, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with what you love, what you're enamored with, versus something like, okay, that's fine. It's not my bag. That's fine. We all love different things. I mean, some of the crazy things that you like, I have no. Every day I come in here, you're trying to bungee jump off the side of the building. I don't get it. I mean, it's not really that far down. It's just not my bag. But
parachute doesn't work. It's even worse.
But in sports, if you're going to take a major job, one of the keys that you need to know if you're taking the job is what kind of alignment do I have between the front office, the administration, the athletic director, and the football program. So she has to be a part of the conversation. This isn't circumventing anybody. That person needs to be a part of it because whomever you're hiring, because this is such a critical hire, they have to know what the alignment is. Okay? And, so, and that's critical. And, for example, at Iowa State, their president, for example, is outgoing. I don't mean outgoing personality. I mean retiring. I believe the president or chancellor at North Dakota State is going to be the next president there. So, and this is where, we wait, okay? And that's always the toughest part is the waiting game.
Sure.
So, there's so many times I'm sitting here at 11:15 and I'm waiting for you.
That's right. Fashionably late.
Okay. That's why with Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we always had what was called Joe Paterno time.
Yeah, Paterno savings time. Yep.
Right? Like if you weren't 15 minutes early, you were late. And did I ever tell you the Michael Robinson story?
No.
So Michael Robinson is playing for the Seattle Seahawks. Started out with the 49ers, then he saw the light.
Mm-hmm. Right. Said, get out of here. I'm not winning a Super Bowl here. Yep.
So Michael Robinson goes to the Seahawks, and Pete Carroll's the head coach. And Pete Carroll had called a team meeting for 4 o'clock. So at 3:45, Michael walks into the meeting room, and there's only one other person sitting in the meeting room, Jordan Hill. The 2 Penn State players on the team were both 15 minutes early for the meeting. Everybody else straggled in after that, and then Pete got started. But, it's like, So when we're on Jason Lord time, we're 15 minutes
That's
late.
15, yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And whatever you did this morning, you came in soaking wet.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the soaking wet story about at Navy?
No.
So Ed DeChellis is the head basketball coach at that time at Navy.
At Navy, yeah.
Ed has since retired.
Yep.
Right. So it's the Naval Academy, so Ed has a limited amount of time.
Yep.
Boom. You can practice from point A, point B. That's it. That's your time you get. So the guys are out there shooting, warming up, and the whole thing. And it's a beautiful sunny day out. Beautiful sunny day. This guy comes in, and he looks at Ed, and he's soaking wet. I mean, I'm talking soaking wet. Again, sunny day. There's not a drop of rain. Soaking wet.
Uh-huh.
Ed looks at him. He says, I hope you don't mind me asking. He says, but what's your deal? He says, SEAL maneuvers in the river. Ed looks at him and goes, okay, when you're ready, come on out. It's a little, because when Penn State played Navy, 3 of those starters, fighter pilots.
Man.
3 of those starters were fighter pilots. One was with the SEALs, and one was I think a mechanic for submarines. Like, whew, God. I mean, now, do I feel bad that Penn State beat him? No, but I sure do respect him, and I had a great talk with John Perry after the game. All right, so as we exit today's show, we exit with no new information.
That's right.
Because we can't control the cycle.
No. Nope.
But I think we brilliantly
That's right.
filled an hour.
Filled an hour. That's right.
All right? Brilliantly. And next week, Monday, we'll talk about whatever the result of today happens to be. And then we're going to have interviews on Tuesday, Wednesday. 'Cause I got to go to Indiana. I got to fly out.
Penn State, Indiana. Yep.
Indiana plays Louisville tomorrow. Looking to bounce back, by the way, because they lost to Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yep.
So, here we are. We sit and we wait. But I will be honest with everybody. I could not have asked for a better person to sit around and wait with than Jason Lewis.
That's right. Likewise.
You read that with emotion.
That's right.